Yo, what is going on, team? Just wanted to jump on and get my trade recap for tonight. I just wanted to bet early just because I've got to wake up early tomorrow. I've got a meeting that I have to go to. So just want to get this video out to you guys and yeah, uh kind of explain why, the trades I'm taking and my bias for the day and things like that. So yeah, jumping right into it on the high time frame. As you can see, we actually swept these 4 hour lows, which was down here. And with that, I was thinking to myself, okay, cool. If we're willing to sweep these 4 hour lows, is it enough to push price higher and to take out these highs or not, right? So, buyers could have been bullish, but to a point, right? So that was like the kind of main draw that got taken out during Asia session. As you guys can see, this was the main draw that got taken out during Asia, and we had a slight pushback. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, where could we be retracing to, right? Where could we look to retrace to? So the only thing we had on defense, in terms of like taking a bearish trade, was the fact that we were delivering from this 1 hour gap, but we delivered to take out these 4 hour lows, which is down here. And within that, we made a 1 hour fair value gap, right? We also had some stuff on the 15-minute time frame, but again, none of those things kind of got respected. We didn't get that V-shaped entry model that we were looking for on this 15-minute gap, nor this 15-minute gap. But price filled in this 1 hour imbalance really, really quickly, which was our only defense left before kind of it was our only defense left until like we would have to assume that once we took out these lows, which is what we did here, we would have to assume that if this 1 hour fair value gap did get switched, or get not switched but flipped, we could say that we're not respecting high time frame PDRAs anymore, and we're likely to take out this high here. So that would have been the draw on the day. But again, I was bearish just because we're delivering from a 1 hour fair value gap and hitting this fair value gap here. We ended up kind of sorry. I actually missed something, which is insane. But on this 1 hour fair value gap, it was kind of our last defense left before, again, we would have to assume that, if we don't respect this 1 hour fair value gap, we're likely to continue up higher to take out this draw on here, which I would have gone for buys if we closed cleanly above this 1 hour fair value gap and we didn't show any signs of bearish intent. But what we ended up getting was a break-even trade today, and it's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, kind of fucked up on how I got done on this trade, but it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the game. You lose, you win, you break even. You just gotta have that working system, which is what we're working towards. So yeah, so that kind of establishes the high time frame bias, right? Like, again, we're delivering from a 1 hour fair value gap after sweeping these 4 hour lows. On the 5-minute time frame, I actually could have looked for a form of buys, especially especially from this 5-minute fair value gap. We had a clear sweep. We had a clear sweep of internal lows in which we inversed. That would have been a nice trade, like something like this. Starts below this low, and target all these low resistance liquidity here. So that would have been a nice trade there. But unfortunately, I was more looking to catch that high time frame kind of the high time frame move, which is what we got here off this 1 hour fair value gap. But again, during this would have been 15, 16, 18 minutes into market open. So yeah, but again, we had our entry model here, which was, you know, a sweep of internal lows, and we get that, we get that inverse. So yeah, super interesting on this trade. Oh, that actually wasn't a trade, but I was just thinking to myself that even though we did deliver from this 1 hour fair value gap, it was to take out these lows, right? We're not sure whether we're going to continue, but at least that when we have that buying pressure, we could catch that kind of continuation up to, these low resistance highs here. So yeah, so that's something I'll note for next time as well, that, that 1 hour fair value gap that we delivered from, right? It was to sweep out these 4 hour lows, which is what we had here, right? So so ideally it could have fueled the move all the way back up, up here. But yeah, the trade we took was based on a 1 hour fair value gap, which we got our V-shaped reversal with momentum, and we also had a pullback and a displacement away from it. And unfortunately, we did break even, but the trade did work out, so I'm really happy to see that. But yeah, let's jump right into it, right? So we had that high time frame bias set. We had a sweep of these 5-minute highs, which is up here. So that kind of cleared all the liquidity in terms on, we had, get rid of this. But we had, multiple highs here that, we took out. We had all these equal highs as well. They got taken out. So, pretty much everything, like this whole like trend line got wiped out. And I was just like, okay, cool, right? We're in a 1 hour fair value gap, right? We deliver away from this liquidity sweep, right? Because as you can see, that there's no more kind of resting liquidity. All the liquidity has been taken out, so it should fuel the move back down, right? If we were to continue on this 1 hour trend, if we after sweeping these 4 hour lows here. So yeah, after sweeping these 4 hour lows, sorry. And yeah, so like I said, all the liquidity has been taken out, all this trend line. Sorry, I just had a freeze moment there. But all this trend line's been taken out. So, and we were within a 1 hour fair value gap, right? So as you can see here, we were in that 1 hour fair value gap here. Price absolutely ripped into it, market open, which was, damn, did I accidentally get rid of the indicator? I hope not. Sorry guys. Damn, where's my my sessions? Okay, anyways. Oh man, I'm just getting mind blank. But once we tapped into that 1 hour, we get the sweep of these internal highs, which wiped out all liquidity in terms of this side. So, if we're willing to go short, we're willing to go short from this 1 hour fair value gap. And as I mentioned before as well, that this was our last kind of defense to go bearish. So in terms of yeah, it was our last kind of defensive POI to go bearish. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So that brings me to the 1 minute, right? So we had our high time frame bias established. We had our low time frame kind of POI set. and now it's about execution, right? So once we took out all the draws on this side, what did I want to see? I wanted to see a V shape, right? Which is what we got here, right? We had a huge push up, and then we chopped off a little bit, and then we had that displacement back down, right? So that shows me that, hey, like, we are willing to go short. But again, with this, like, it wasn't enough for me to take a trade. Two reasons why I wouldn't take a trade right here, just because the RR would have been shit. I'm not gonna lie. From taking a trade here and putting stops all the way here, the would have been horrible. But I think I ended up trading here anyways. But I ended up trading there anyways. But that's all right. And secondly, I wanted to see whether we respect this 1 minute fair value gap here. I wanted to see that we respect it, right? After we get some pushback, right? We get a retracement. I want to see some bearish candles out of it. I want to see some confirmation, right? That's what I want to see, right? That's what I like in terms of confirmation wise. Like, this is like, we get a tap into it. We see that we're rejecting and we push away from it, right? So I think the trade was taken here. Stops were above here, and just targeting these lows down here. So that's what the trade looked like. I'll pull it up on Capital soon. But yeah, once we got that retracement into that 1 minute fair value gap, we see that we get a nice push into it and we reject away. And once I see that we rejected away, right, all my like things have been checked, right? Like my checklist, right? We had high time frame bias, right? Which the fact that we delivered from this 1 hour fair value gap, we took out these 4 hour highs, and our last defense was this 1 hour fair value gap, right? We tapped into that. We had a sweep of internal highs, which was this, right? We took out these highs and these highs. We took out internal. So now we're working our way to external, right? So we wiped out all liquidity and on the side of the market. So all this has been taken out, right? We had a V shape. We had a retracement into a bearish POI, right? And we had some displacement away from it, right? So that was the trade taken. I'll pull it up on Alpha. But yeah, as you guys can see, this was a break-even trade. Full transparency, only made $1. But the fact is that, you know, once we got that displacement out of that 1 minute gap here, as you can see, you know, we get that push through. I entered, stops were above here, and as you guys can see that, you know, we had some trouble kind of displacing through, and once we got that displacement, I win stops to BE really, really quickly, because ideally we should, you know, displace from after consolidating, and we take a low, we should displace from it, right? Which is what we got here. We had a displacement, and we pushed down pretty far to the point where we actually made a, I don't know what you call it, but like a gap in the market, at which price came to fill. Oh, just dropped my phone. That's no good. Which price came to fill, and again, it just wasn't enough, and we you know, we came out at break even. So that kind of wraps it up on today's trade. Sorry, my mind has just gone blank. I cannot think. But yeah, again, we had our high time frame bias hit. We had our displacement. We had our V-shaped recovery, right? We had our inverse. We had our retracement. We had our displace away from that inverse, as well as respecting that 1 minute POI. And now, you know, it's nothing much I can do in terms of, you know, going break even. Even though the trade did work out, which is perfect, that means the idea was there. It just, again, you know, the market does what it wants to do. So, yeah, just that wraps it up for today's trade. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and yeah. Hope you guys have a great day or great night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.